All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the class today. First of all, I must appreciate every one of us that reached out, whether directly or through the group, through the class, or through the WhatsApp group to say a few prayers and to encourage me. Last week I was having some health challenges. That was why we couldn't hold the class last week. But I really appreciated every one of us. And I thank you for your prayers and everything. Today I asked for extra 30 minutes because we want to cover up the last chapter of Unit 3, and then we now do Unit 4. But before that, I have to make some inputs regarding the assignment. I didn't grade the assignment because a lot of people are getting some steps wrong, and if I do grade the assignment that way, they will not earn their full marks. So it's better I create an opportunity for you to be able to earn the full marks. All right, so what I will do is I will go through the assignment and just show us how to submit, especially the links. A lot of people had challenges with understanding what I meant by submitting the link to your form. So I'll take some time in this class to just quickly go through that. So if you go to your assignment, which is assignment 2, okay, so let me go in as a student. So you can see from the perspective of a student, just the same way you would see it, because right now it's showing up for me as a teacher. So this is me as a student. This is student 1. So he will go into his Google Classroom now. So in Google Classroom, he goes into classwork. He would see the assignment, and what he's supposed to do is click on the assignment. Once he clicks on the assignment, there is the option to view instruction. Now, when you click on view instruction, whether it is on your phone or on your laptop, you will see an answer sheet. This sheet comes with your work because when I was given the assignment, I gave you an answer sheet. We will look at how to do that in subsequent classes. But you will see, if I go to edit as a teacher, you will see the assignment. You will see that there is a document that says form link submission. Each student will get a copy. This is me handing you an answer sheet. And that is where you are supposed to copy and paste the links to your form. I didn't expect you to create another document. It's just like you going to write WIEC. They gave you an answer sheet, and then you decide to use your answer sheet to answer the question. Or even in your university days, the examiner gives you the faculty answer sheet, and then you decide to use your own answer sheet. So I gave you an answer sheet. It is in that answer sheet and you will paste the link of your Google form. If you click on that answer sheet, it would open. For those of you that are using a computer or a tablet, this is pretty straightforward. You will see that the answer sheet will automatically have your name because I am giving you a copy. It is now inside of this answer sheet that you will paste your link. And once you paste the link, you don't need to do anything because it automatically saves. So I'm going to type into it as if that is my link and close it. And if I open it again as a student, I will see what I type. So it automatically keeps what you've saved in it. Then you can now go here and attach all your snapshots or screenshots before you submit. So here, let's say I have pasted my link and then I have closed it and I have my screenshots. So what do? I click on add and then go and I add all my screenshots. Add a link, not a link necessarily, but I go to file and then my drive, for example, and then I can add my screenshot. So you can still keep adding stuffs, and then once you've added, you can now turn in. it is not allowing me to turn in now because the deadline has passed. So again, this is what is expected of you. That's one. So as a result of this, and also that's the reason why I didn't grade the assignments, majorly because of this. But secondly, because I want to give you the opportunity to earn the full marks. So I'm going to extend this assignment. But as a result of this extension, I will add an additional question to the assignment that is supposed to be a question that is part of the assignment because we didn't finish the unit last week. So I took that question out. So I'm going to cover that aspect of that unit now, and then I will add it as an additional question and extend the assignment till Monday. So if you will need to correct your errors. If you have submitted your links in the wrong way, you need to correct it. And if you've not done the assignment, again, that gives you the opportunity to do the assignment again. And then you'll now be able to finish up by submitting this additional question. I hope we understand. So that's just how you are expected to handle this assignment. And so subsequently, every time you see an answer sheet, you would be expected to submit using your answer sheet, not creating your own answer sheet. In the class where we will deal with Google Classroom, I will also show you how to do this, how to create documents and answer sheet for your students whenever you expect them to use a resource that you expect them to use. All right, so that's that about this assignment. Once we've completed Unit 3, which talks about quiz, then I will add that question to this. So it will be using Google Form. There is A, there will be B, and that B is what will cover what we just finished now, what we'll just be going through today. All right, let me just get my. So do we have any questions before we proceed? If there are questions, if there are no questions, then I can proceed. Let me see a comment. I'm an assistant helping. Techniques helping. Yeah, assistant. That's good. Okay, Clem.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Fellow.
Good afternoon.
You are talking about giving extra assignments. What about those of us that have submitted long ago when this thing was given? Does it mean you will still really mark ours until we add this one? But because I'm not saying that I'm not going to do the one you are sending now, but then I don't think it would be fair on me for her to
No,
have.
there's nobody is talking about not grading.
Okay.
I said I haven't graded the assignments because a lot of people didn't submit properly.
Okay.
Assignments will be graded. All your assignments will be graded.
Okay, but you
Now,
promised us that you were not going to be marking, waiting for people to submit. That you have to once you turn in. But I've been checking. I noticed that mine hasn't been done. But because you were sick, I didn't want to disturb you.
I did not mark any assignment this week because the reason is because a lot of people had questions about this particular issue that I just raised, submitting their links. And although I made corrections, I answered some of them. Still, a whole lot of people did not. Subsequently, because there's also one question that I took out because we didn't finish the unit. So on this basis, I decided not to grade and then to extend, correct, or show people how to turn in the assignment properly, and then extend by 1 or 2 days with the additional question. And once that deadline passes on that same day, your assignment, everybody's assignment will be graded. No grading has been provided to anybody for last week's assignment. All right, somebody else raised his hand. Dada Esther, you raised your hand.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I used my phone and I was able to open the Google form. I saw tab 1, but in instruction I have on it, the icons I have on it was not an editable icon. It is just
No,
showing
I didn't give
colors. That's all.
I didn't give you forms. You were supposed to create your own Google form. I didn't give you any form.
Yeah, I did. But I wanted to submit with that. There was a link attached to the one you said you shared for everyone. The answer sheet you said we had to use to submit. I
Yeah.
couldn't input anything into it.
Okay. So for Microsoft, for if you are using your form to really open a Google Sheet, you have to download the Google Docs app. Download the Google Docs app, because on your phone, when you click on it, it will only be able to open on Drive and it will not give you the editable version. So if you want to be able to edit it, you have to download Google Doc as an app, and then you'll be able to. So for phone, at the beginning of the class session, I had said that for phones, you have to download all the apps: Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Doc, Classroom, and Google Chat, and Google Meet, and then Google Classroom. All of those apps you have to download. If you are using a laptop, you don't have to, because it opens on a browser. All right. Okay. So I think so. Download the app and then
I
open it,
already
and you
have
should be able.
downloaded. I have them. I have downloaded
All
them.
right. So you open it on the drive, or you can tell it to open with Google Doc, and it will open. All right.
Okay,
So
okay, thank you.
lastly, so let's just get into the class. Somebody just raised up their hand again. Okay. Nobody raised hand. Anybody raised hand? Let's see. Oh, it's me. All right. So okay. So now we will start the class. Thank you again for your patience. Betty, you raised your hands. This will be the last question now, because we have 10 minutes before we jump into the main class. I want to use that to finish up on the other one. So, Betty, can you ask your question, please?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Tim. Actually, I could not, I was only able to do, I couldn't do the last part of the question because, last week, actually, there was a mix up. I came in when you were rounding off, or I came late. So
Anyway,
I watched the
the
video,
assignment
tried
will
to
be
do all that,
extended till Monday.
and was able to
The
attempt
assignment will be
the rest,
extended till
but I
Monday.
don't know
So,
for correct. But the last one I couldn't at all. I tried, but it didn't work. And at the point, because of my long stay on the screen, I started having headache and all of that. So I couldn't submit. So will I still be graded?
what I'm saying is the assignment will be extended till Monday. So you have an opportunity to finish it.
It's okay. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, I need to turn on the call. All right. So last week let me switch over to my. So last week in our creation of forms, we ended with form creation, and we did an example of survey. How do you use surveys? We looked at form from one dimension, from one angle, which is collecting responses, organizing, and we went through all of the questions. So the other component of it that we didn't finish was quiz. How do you do self-graded quiz online? Now, two things about quiz is that it could be self-graded, auto-graded, which means immediately the student submits the form, the assignment is graded. Or it could be that you want to do the grading yourself and then release their results later on. The other thing is, how do you, if it is a quiz, can I do subjective questions or is it only objective questions? A multiple choice and single choice, or can I do subjective question where student have to type and all of that? And if I do subjective questions, can those questions be auto graded? So those are some of the things that we'll look into in the next few minutes. Now for forms, for quiz, I will not delve into the different types of questions because we already did the different types of options in Google Forms last week. I think the last time we met, I went deep into showing us all of the questions available, question types in Google Form. So today we'll just focus on quiz, and I will play out two scenarios for you. Objective questions, which is what every one of us know, and then subjective questions, what is the best way to approach it? And if you want to combine objective and subjectives, what is your best options? Because sometimes in our exams, we have a section that is objective and a section that is subjective, where students have to define, give example, and all of that. How do you handle that? No. All right, so to build a quiz, you can go to your forms, as usual, from different ways. These are the different ways you can access Microsoft Forms, or you can go to Google, forms.google.com. You will be able to access it. Or you go to Forms, you go to your Drive. From your Drive, if you click on Create, you will see the option for Google Form. You can create from template or from blank. Now we want to create a quiz. So I'm going to create from blank quiz. We want to create a quiz. Two things about quiz is that if you want it to be auto-graded, you need to set the grade for every question or the overall grade for the form itself. So I'm going, again, I will not use too much of this time to explain this. We've already done that last week. So let's say question one. Let's say this is a maths question. I'm just going to do maths as an example. So question one is going to be, let's say 10 plus 10 plus 10. So this is a multi-choice, is one answer. So 10 plus 10 is, say, 20. The second option is 30, 50, and add as many as you want. Say 40. All right. So now that's it. If you want it, if it's a quiz, you have to, if your question is compulsory, you have to mark it as compulsory. Now, since it's a quiz, you also have to, if it is self-graded, you have to set what is the answer so that the system knows what is the answer as to be able to grade the student. If you don't tell it, then it will not grade. So I need to tell it which is the correct answer. And to do that, all you need to do is you click on the answer key. Automatically it picks 10 points because most likely in the settings, if you go to settings, you can set what you want as defaults for your see, by default you say make questions required. So that's why all my questions will be required by default. Let's look at the quiz section. I have said this form is a quiz, so I've said that. Missed question, respondent can see which question were answered correctly. These are all where you will set the settings. Correct answers, point value. You see, default point for every question is 10. You can come and change it here. So this is a overall settings for quiz. So every quiz that I create, it will adopt these settings. And then I can go in and change individually if I don't want it to take these overall settings. Now you can also you can release grades immediately or after. Now, if you are doing only objective question, you can tell them to release their grades, to release the grades immediately, and that will be okay. But let's say you are setting subjective question like what is respiratory? There is no single answer. Many students can have different ways of presenting their responses. So for subjective question, you cannot give the system an answer. If you do, then if the student misses one word, changes one word to the other, then that student will fail that question. So for example, if my answer, my correct answer is respiration is respiration. If this, if the student now define respiration as um, respiration is the process of respiration, he's going to fail that question. Although his answer is correct, but he's going to fail the why, because it's a subjective question, and people will present it in different ways. That doesn't necessarily mean they failed it, and that's why you would not use you will not use auto grade for such. What you can do is you can select later after you manually review. So you could still have one section that is objective and then another section that is objective. The section that is objective, you set the answer key and they will answer the system will grade them. But their grades will not be released until you have manually graded the subjective part, and then you will release their grade. So that way you still are able to use your form to administer both objective and essay questions. If you don't want me to use that word subjective, objective and essay questions, you will still be able to use it. Only that you will say, I would only release the grade after I have reviewed it. So the objective part, the system takes care of grading it. Then the essay part, you would review and then give them their grades accordingly, and then you will release the grade. So those ways, that is the easiest way to handle such situation. So I have said this is required. The beauty of objective question also is the fact that you could get the students to continue to learn in this process. You can provide some feedbacks. Let's say, let me just finish and I'll show you. I'm just going to create 2 questions. So I'll duplicate this question so that I don't waste too much time. This is 10 times 10, right? I'll do 10 times 10. 10 times 10. Here I'll change it to 200. And then here I'll change it to 500. Here I'll change it to 100. Then I'll leave this one as 40. Again, what is my answer key? This is my answer key. I selected it. That's my answer key. And here, what is my answer key? 10 plus 10. Go to my answer key and then I'll select. So you have to select your answer. Now, feedback. So I can provide a feedback. If a student gets the answer correctly, I can say, good job, right? That's my feedback. If a student gets incorrectly, let's say correctly, not incorrectly. All right, so if a good student gets the answer correctly, I'll say, good job. Then if he fails it, I'll say, for example, Olodo, try again. So the student will always see this when they get their responses. But another beauty of this is that I can still, in my responses, in my feedback, I can now say, okay, this student is failing this question, but I want him to learn. I can here attach a video that will guide him and explain that concept that he failed. Now, this is when you are doing, there's in assessment, there's what is called formative and summative. Summative is what you do at the end of the term. Formative is what you do in between the term as you try to see how the students are getting and understanding your lessons and the concept that you are teaching them. So if this test is supposed to grade them, but I also want them to learn. So every question that they fail, I will provide a guide. So I can look for a video that teaches on sum of 10, for example. So I look for a video that teaches sum of 10, because any student that fails that question, I want them to be able to revise. So I have added this, but for feedback, if you pass it, I give you a great job. So that's another thing you can do. So for this one, again, I can say it's done. Then for this question, I can add another feedback. So if you've corrected, try again. You can watch this video for guidance. So I'll attach a video, multiples or multiplying tens. Looking at a video that teaches on multiplying tens. So I'm adding that video so that the student can get a feedback. So overall, my question is total point is 20. So total point is 20. I will have to publish. So I'm publishing. I don't want it to be only the people within, because I want some of you to quickly answer the question. So I'll say anyone with the link. This is how you submit your link in the previous assignment too. You're sending it to anyone with the link and save. And then I would click on done. It will give me the link. I can, sorry. Okay, anyone with the link is respondent. Done. So publish. It's published now. I can copy the link now. So this link is what you paste into the assignment. Now, what I want to do is I want you all to, maybe I'll put it in the comments. You can answer it, but I will go in as a student. I'll go in as a student and answer it, and then you will see how that works. So this is me as a student. So this is the question as a student. It's asking me to sign in. That's fine. Fine. Let me change it. I shouldn't be signing in. Why? Is anyone with the link? Anyone with the link is a respondent.
So the link is not opening.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I said anyone with the link can respond, but I don't know why. Yeah, somebody has already responded actually, so it's fine.
Yes, I
All
have.
right, so if you respond, I want somebody to fail one question. Just try to fail one question. But let me. This is why you're asking me to sign in.
Answer for the second question.
Huh?
I choose the wrong answer for the second question.
All right, that's good. Keep forgetting this password now. Oh, how's the issue now? Okay, I don't know why this is happening. Why is this? Please next time. Sorry, I want to show you how it looks like from a student's perspective. Why is it asking me to sign in? I think there's a settings on this form. I'm coming. Let me just check the settings. Anyone with the link doesn't require signing. Okay, if you fail the did you see your result immediately? For those of you that
No, I could.
All right.
No,
No,
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the reason is because I did not. I told you that I will release the result. So here I can now release the result, and it will send each one of you your result. So this is me releasing the result, and it will send it to you as an email. So if I have objective questions and essay questions, the objective one has already been graded automatically. Then I will now, in each student, I would go to their responses and read out what they did. Then I'll grade those questions, and then I will now release their scores, and each one of them will get their scores. Secondly, there are times where you will say, okay, question number 1 to 5 is compulsory. Then you answer any two from question 6, 7, 8. Sometimes we have question paper like that where you have sections. How do you handle that in this situation? That is where you create section in your answer sheet, section in your question. So section A, answer all questions. Section B, you can now put it in that section, answer any 2 questions. So even if it is graded or quiz. So in section 1, since it's compulsory, how do you ensure it's compulsory? You mark it as required. Section 2, since it is 3 questions out of 5, you don't make them required. The student is going to be expected to answer any 3. And still, if those 3 are objectives, it can still grade them automatically. If they are not objective, it will still not grade them automatically. So whichever way, the exams, how you do exams physically, you can also do the same with Google Form. The only downside to Google Form is that it does not come with its own timer. Microsoft Form, everything that I've shown you now can be done on Microsoft Form. Microsoft Form has inbuilt timer where you can say this question is only for 20 minutes, and the students will be required to do it 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, it kicks them out. How do you achieve that with Google Form? To do that, you would use plugin. Plugins are what you would use. So you go here, and then you can click on this icon. No, sorry, it's not this icon. This one, you will see that I have some plugins. But you can come here at these 3 dots and look for get add-on or get plugins, add-ons. And here you can now search for quiz timer, or just type timer. And you will see timer, AI proctor. You see different types. Form timer, you can select anyone. And so once you do this, this now allows you set time for the student. So I can say, let me look for this one. Some of them are paid, some of them are not paid. So I'll install this one, and then we can use it and show you how those plugins work. The way this plugin works is once you install an add-on that is supposed to add a timer, you would have to copy the link that the add-on gives you, not the link that the form gives you directly. If you use the link that the form gives you, there will be no timer. But if you use the link you get from the add-on, then you will be able to get timer. All right, so let's go this way. So I have already installed that timer. I can go here and I will see it. Where is it? Timer. Look at it. Auto proctor. So let's just call this form quiz. All right, so I want to just walk through this. How do you do it? You just look for the timer and you click on it. Let's see if this is a paper. Okay, this is not the one I used. Let's see if this one is the one I just quiz now. Click on it. It will ask you to open. Now I'm opening it. It's going to load, and that's what is here. So I want to set this quiz to not to be, your current free plan can only use 1 time. So this is 1 time. That's good. I just need 1 time. So I want this quiz to be for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. All right. After 3 minutes, you can set a start date. That's the beauty of this timer. I'm giving this quiz. I want it to be started on so day. So even if you are giving an exam in your school, you can set the start time and the end time. If a student gets the link and goes to it during the start time, he cannot start because the link will not even be available for him to open because the exam has not started. So I'm just going to start, select a start time. So let's just select start time as, what's today's date? Today is what's today's date? Today is 9th or 8th. Is today 8 or 9?
8.
Why is there no 8 here?
8.
8.
It's 8.
Yeah, but I cannot see 8 here.
Are you already on 9th?
No, I'm 9 p.m. Why is it, there's no 8 on this calendar? Anyways, you just said the time. Start date, okay. Start time, end date. You just put, all right. Okay. Now, when you save this, it's going to give you detect tab switch. So this is good in that it can, you want it to detect candidate face. If a candidate is cheating, you can detect their face. If a candidate is switching between tabs, maybe he has the form open and he have another tab open to do Google to search for answer. So this is a paid one. It's able to capture all of that. Capture candidate screen. It can also capture candidate screen. So this one is paid option. It's good as a school. You can leverage that. So it will really proctor the exam. So I save this. Once I save, it is going to give me a link. Now it is its own link that I have to use. You see, copy link. If I use this forms link, I will try it out for on both for us to see. So this is the link to this form. Okay, this is the link to this form. Let's see how it opens. So this time, you see, this test is this time bound test, and the duration is 3 minutes. Please complete the test, then you can start. But if I use the exact link of the form, let's see how it will still give me. Remember, I have this already. So if I use this same form link, you will see that it brings me directly to the form, although I have a proctor on it. So when you are using an exam timer and a proctor, you have to copy the link that proctor gives you. So let's say the time for this test has not started. The student will not be able to start the exam. So let me click on start. I can start, see. Exam starts on 10th. So I will not be able to write this exam because the exam has not yet started. Let me change that time so that we can start the exam. So I'll change the time to yesterday. And then I will say, okay, I will save settings. Oh, I can only use it once. So your current free plan can only please log. So I've exhausted it once. So unfortunately, my proctor time is wrong. So I can't start. And that is a paid one. So I can only use one. But you get the idea. So that's how you use proctor or exam timer on Google to set the time for you. This one, we can only use one. Somebody is asking, the plugin works on Android phone? Yes, because the plugin is tied to Google Form, not Android. It's tied to Google Form, not the Android phone. Yes, so it can work. All right, so that's where we would end with quiz. Now, the assignment the additional question that I will add to this will be a question to create a self-graded quiz. Then you also copy the link and paste it in the answer sheet. So that's the additional question. And that unit 3 is completed. We've shoot by 20 minutes. That's fine. But let's while I move on to the next, I'll just ask if anyone has any question as it relates to this. Any question? All right. So if there are no questions, we'll go to Unit 4. All right. A few people are raising their hands. I have just 5 minutes for that question. All right. Let's start with Florence. Please keep it short. Florence. Oh,
Please,
Auntie Florence.
do we have free one?
Sorry?
The clothing, do we have a free one or we have to pay?
You have free ones, but I don't know which one. What I've used free ones before. You just keep trying. That's the bad that's the thing about this. You just have to just search again. All you need to do is just search for it in add-on. Sorry. Yeah, there are free ones. They might not be able to do this proctor part where you can detect switch. The one I've used before does not detect switch, does not detect that. It just puts the timer and the countdown. It begins to count down. Maybe we should do, let's say, um, okay, form timer. You see, so this is just a timer. Some of them will tell you if it is paid, pricing not available. Some of them, if it is free, it is free. Most of them will give you some trials. You can use the trial. If you use it just on one form, it's fine. This one, as long as this form exists and I don't use this plugin for another form, any student that wants to write this test will always be able to get that timer on it. So basically what I'm saying is you can get one. If it is only one trial, set up your form with that and keep reusing that form. If you need another one and you add another plugin and leverage on the free version. I always mostly use free version. Let's see how much this one costs. Oh, it's asking me to log in. Pricing. This one is okay, $9 per month. Okay, the next question. Let's see who has the next question. Ogunshola.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Please, concerning the objective question, what if I want to set a question whereby the system does not have a symbol that involves symbols, mathematical symbols, or some that require drawing?
So for Google Forms, you can always bring your artifacts in. So even if it's a maths question, you can write the maths question on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and upload it as part of your question. We did that last week, and I can quickly show you that. So you can bring all your artifacts into your questions. So I'm going to add another question, for example. You see, even on this question, I can put an image, and let's just look for maths equation. So I can put this image in that question. This is a technical image. I can put it in that question and I can say solve for this and see that. So even if you don't have, you can write it, take a picture of it and add it. So you can always bring those things in. All right. Christiana.
Okay, please, you mentioned self-graded quiz. What is self-graded quiz?
What we just did now, where you answered the quiz, student asks you set an exam or quiz for the student, they answer it, and immediately the quiz is graded and they'll see their grades.
Oh.
It's graded because you say you have already put the answer, and then in settings you say immediately after each submission. So when a student submits, they will see their answer, they will see their grades. If they fail, they will see their marks immediately. And the reason why everyone that filled that form, that answered my quiz, couldn't see their result until I released it was because I say letter manual review, because I want to do manual review. Like I mentioned, manual review is good when you have both objective questions and essay questions. The objective questions, the system automatically grades it, but the grades are not released until you have reviewed the essay questions and mark them, and then you release all their grades. That's a self-graded test. You provide a quiz, you set the answers, and the student takes the quiz, and the system grades them. For every quiz, you have to say what is the point for every question. See, the point for every question must be set. If you don't set the points for every question, then there's no mark for it to be given. All right. Any other person? I think that should be off. Okay. All right. Let's move quickly. So today we're going to go to Unit 4. And Unit 4 will start with communication. One of the 3 C's of technology in education is collaboration, which we've started talking about. Now we want to focus today on communication. And this communication will go from one to one, one to many, and then one to an entire community. So we'll be looking at communications at different levels. So the first one we'll start with today is Gmail, which I believe everyone here has a Gmail account. That is why you are actually able to join this class, because you have a Gmail account. And most of us know what Gmails are for. Emails generally are ways you send messages electronically. You can send message to people, you receive messages. You can also send attachment and they receive attachment. So that's a communication between you and somebody, or you and many people. So you can put as many people's email addresses as you can and then send the same message you will send to them. Traditionally, what we would do if we wanted to write a letter to 10 people, the same letter to 10 people, you have to write it 10 times, or you write the letter and photocopy it and then send it to all 10 people. But with electronic email, you just need to draft it once, put all their email addresses, and then send it. So we won't spend a lot of time on what is Gmail. You already know what Gmail is. So you can open your Gmail on your phone by downloading the app, on your browser, or even on your tablet. And when you open a Gmail account, you get 15 GB of space, and you can have your email and Gmails tied to a Gmail. It could be Yahoo, it could be any kind of email, but the one we're focusing on now is the Gmail app. Some of the things we'll be doing practically today will be in Gmail, you can create tasks, you can filter emails, you can use the mobile app, you can compose and respond delivery infos. There's also translation. You can add attachments. You can also search efficiently. You can label and organize and archive your email. So there is what is called archiving. Archiving means you're storing it. You don't want to see it, but you are not deleting it. So you archive it. You can later on go and find it. It's like you're filing it away. That's what archiving is. But you can also delete your emails. All right. So in your classroom, what are the use cases of emails in your classroom? You can use it to communicate to people. If you teach in a school where you have different languages, one of the campuses where I work, we have Chinese, Koreans, and different languages, and some of them, their parents can't speak English, and so email gives you the opportunity to do Google Translate directly within the email, and that way it's easier for you to build trust and to also be able to still communicate to people, even communicate to people though you don't understand or cannot even read their language. So communication is still enabled in that way. All right, we will not go into this. I just want to go into the practical of it. So in this practical, we'll look at how to personalize your Gmail, how to create filters, apply star icon, which is a way to apply filter, multiple label, assign label, and then how you search for anything. So I'll start with that practical now. So I would use is this student one? No, let me see. This is the one I want to use a student for. Okay, so I would use student one as an example. So we are all familiar with our Gmails, but a few things I want to highlight is you can reorganize your Gmail. At the side here, some of us might not see chat. We'll get to chat. You can see your chat here. If you can't see chat here, on this side. Then you can go to settings. Your settings icon is at the top here. You see all settings. And then you go to chat and meet. Because in the future classes, I'll be telling us where are the places you can find your chat and where are the places you can find Google Meet, which is your video calls. So you can click here and then you will enable them. So now I'm going to turn both of them off. I'm turning them off and I'm hiding them. All right, so if I save and I refresh, you will see that they are no longer here. They are no longer there. So in the event that you don't see any of those things here, that's where you can turn it on or turn it off. Since I'm under settings, let me just go through a few things. You want to set signatures. Signatures are things that comes with your email. Let me give us an example. I'm sure a lot of us know what signatures are. So let's see. So this is an example of my email. Signatures are just email signatures. And sometimes you might want to have it. So this is like an official email signatures that goes out with all of my emails. So how do you set this? The way to set that is to go into settings in your email and general, and you scroll down. You will see this is your signature. So there are no signatures. You just click on create signature, and then you type the name of the signature, student. So for example, all right, student, and then I'll create signature. I'll edit that signature. So this is the signature. I can type my name, student. Say head boy. TTC primary. TTC primary school. So what did I want? How I want it to be used for all new emails. Yes, use. You remember the name of the signature is student. So all new email, use it as student one. Reply. I want to use this. Insert signature before quoted text and reply. So you can choose whichever option you want, and that's it. Sometimes when you want to have an autoresponder, maybe somebody said, you know, that how some of us use WhatsApp, you send a message and then it automatically sends that person a message that, okay, thank you for contacting me, blah, blah, blah. This is your autoresponder. You can set autoresponder here and people will get a response almost immediately. Once you've done all of the settings you want to do here, you just click on save changes. And if I now want to compose an email, you can see it automatically comes up with my email. And so that's how you set up the signature from there. Now let's go back there. I'll talk about label later on. Advances, here you can set up a few other custom shortcuts and all of that. You don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to. If you want to delegate if you want to forward your email to another person, or you want to add an additional email to your mailbox so that email from 2 emails can land in your mailbox, you can do all of those here. If you want to give, maybe you have a secretary, you want your secretary, or maybe this email is for you and your partner in business, and all your business information goes into that email. You can also give that person access to this account. Let's say, for example, you start a business, or in your school, there's an email for maths department, and there are 3 teachers. So what you can do, you log into that email of maths department, and you add all the 3 teachers to give them access to this email. And all of those 3 teachers will be able to see or receive the email that goes into the maths department email. So those are some of the options that are available for you here. Here is where you can change your language. If you want to do different language, you can change languages here. Now let's go back to the main page. You see how sometimes you can redesign how your interface will look like. That's here. I can say I want it to be comfortable. You will see it begins to change as I select different options. This one makes it show some of the attachment. If I say comfortable, it will not show any of the attachment. I can say compact. You see it changes. So you can decide how you want your email to look like. That's just changing the density of the email. You can change the theme. Let's say I like this theme, chess, and I apply it. You see the entire interface of my email changes. So you can do that. You can, let me see. So that's under, you can also add from your photo. Let's say I have, let me see if I get any photo. There's no photo. So you can add your personal photo as the background of your email, and it will to use that one. So that's that. Now, let me just restore it back to, okay, I put it back to the way it used to be. Now, you also are able to, so that's how this part that I just explained is showing how the interface of the email looks like. But how you can now determine how you want your inbox to be arranged. So you can say important first. I want important email to be categorized at the top. So this is default. We'll come back to how you can customize the default. I want important to be categorized. So when you do that, it will put every email. This one, it uses its own algorithm to determine which emails are important. And it will put them in one. See, there's the important, and then there's everything else. So it has broken down your email into two sections, important and everything else. If I put it back at default, it will merge everything. Default will put it into categories. So you see primary, promotions. So all adverts and all of that will be packed into promotions. Social, all social media will be packed in here. It does this using its own algorithm. So if you choose default, that's what you get. If you want it to be important, it will break it down into important. If you want it to be unread first, every email that is not read, it will put your unread email first, and then everything else will be underneath it. Star, emails that are starred first. So let's say I star a few emails by clicking on the star beside them, means I want them to be starred. If I select that, it will put all the starred emails first, and then every other thing will be next. Start email first, and every other thing will be next. The next one is priority. I will show us how that works. So priority email is it will put emails that are marked as important, again by its own judgment. It will mark them as important and put them up, starred, everything else. Multiple inboxes. If I click on that, let's see what it will do. See, it created different inbox. So your inbox, everything that is starred, everything that is in draft, everything that is in my inbox. So this gives you how you can decide to set how your inbox appears. The one that I use, which will bring me to, let me pull out my Google Chat and Google Meet so that everything is back to normal. You can see I just enable my Google Chat and Google Meet. So I go back to the next thing we will talk about. That will bring me to customizing default and customizing these three. The way you customize them is by creating labels. So we'll get back to that. That's the next thing that we want to look into. So create filters. All right. So filters are how you search for emails and group emails. So I can create a filter. Let's look at, let's say, where's the email that gets sent to me? Okay, keep share. Let's see. I want to, okay, drive, shared, no reply. Filters are, a lot of us, we already know what filters are. There are ways with which you search your mailbox, and then you create a group of, you create a search based on some criteria, and you are able to use that to group things together. So to create a filter, you just come here. When you click on this, I can say, okay, emails that comes from this email address. Any email that comes from this email address, I want to search them. So if I click on search, it will bring all the emails that I have that came from that email address. So that's what I did. I searched for all the email that came from this email address. And then I can create a filter. Now, the purpose of creating a filter is so that you can give it an instruction. Any email that comes from this email address, what do you want to do with it? So this way, you are able to quickly automate some things within your chat box. Let's say, for example, there are emails that come from nuisance. Somebody just keep troubling you with marketing stuffs. You can decide, oh, all notification that comes from Facebook, I want you to delete them immediately. Or I want you to mark them as read. Or I want you to trash them. I want you to put them in this folder. Or I want you to mark them as whatever. You see all of them here. So I can say when a message is an exact match to your search criteria, I can say mark it as read so that it doesn't show as read. I can say delete it. I can say always mark it as important. Never mark it as important. Then categories. These are all subcategories. Every email, and like I said, these are categories that are determined by Google itself. Any email that comes from this, I can say put it under update or foreign. So you create filters to search, but to also give instruction to what to do with those particular emails. So as a staff, you could create, we'll talk about that. You could create a folder or a label and call it email from your boss, email from your colleague, from your husband, and say, okay, all the email from my husband, put them in a folder called husband. All the email from my boss, put them in a folder called email. So this is the purpose of filter, and that's how you simply create filter. You create filter by using keywords such as email from somebody or email that is sent to somebody, or if you have a subject, if you have any particular word. And this is how you also do search. But we'll get to search. So you can search by all of these criteria. And once you've gotten those resources, those emails, you can now create a filter to determine how they will be treated automatically. So you can also search by any email with attachment. I click on search to bring all the emails that have, let me change this, put it back to default. It will bring all the emails that have attachments. It will bring them here. So let's do search again. Every email that has attachment, it will bring them. So all of these emails, I can now decide what do I want to do with them? Do I want to delete them or something? So that's covering search and filter at the same time. You can search by from, search by to, search by subject, or a particular word. You don't know the person that sent it, you don't know the date they sent it, you don't know the email address, but you remember a particular word from that email. You can search by has a particular word, or a word that it doesn't have. You can search by that. If you know the size, you don't necessarily would know. But if you know also the date, is it 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, you can search with that. You can also search different categories. So I can search inbox, staff, student mail, draft, chat, spam, trash, and any other categories that I have set. You can use those as your search criteria to easily navigate and search through your mailbox. And then you can create a filter with them. Apply star. Star is also one way that you can mark some emails as important. That's how you can mark some emails as important when you put them on that star. Let me refresh. You can mark them as important by putting them in star. So here, to star any email, you see the icon here. You just click on star. So let's say I now want to do a search. All right. I can go to, okay, let's search for all the emails that are starred. Then immediately I'm able to find all my emails that are starred. Now we'll look at label. Okay, we've done search for anything. So labels. Labels are good in that it allows you organize your mailbox. So let's start with, how do you create a label? Label are folders, so to speak, or tags that you can automatically assign to an email for easy identification or for groupings. So I can create a label and call it, let's say, TETC. I create that label, it is there. I can also create a nested label. So this is TETC, and I want to create another label that is for, let's say, CEO. This every email from my CEO in TTC. I want to nest it under TTC so that every email, everything that has to do with TTC is in a TTC label. So I click on create, so you can see it's nested under it. I can create another label and call it AI subscription, for example. These are just random examples. I'll add them here. So this is one way you can create a label. Another way you can create a label is to go to the settings, click on settings, and then you see labels here. These are the labels that I just created. You can see TT. So here, you will see label. You can decide to show or to not show. You can decide to edit the label. You can decide to hide it and all of that. So here, you'll find all your labels easily, and you can create new label directly from here. So I'll create another label. I'll call it charts. Charts with GPT. And I'll nest it under. Please, you're not talking. Please, can you mute yourself? I'll nest it under. I'm just going to mute everybody. All right, so I'll nest it under. So those are two ways you can create a chart label. So what's the use of label? How do you use label? To use label, you combine it with filter. So let's say every email from Google that we did, the search we did the last time. Let me see if it's still okay. Yeah, all the email from this Google account, this Google email that we did last time. I want to. So I'm pasting this. So all this email, I want to search for them. So all the email, let's say these are email from TTC and they are emails from my boss, for example. So I want to create a filter that, okay, all the emails that comes from here, I want you to apply this label, put them in TTC, but put them as my emails from my CEO. And then I will say, also apply this to matching conversation. Every other conversation that matches this applies it to it. And then I'll click on create that filter. You can see that immediately all those emails that matches that, it has attached a tag to it called TTC CEO, TTC CEO. So if any email comes from that same email address, it will automatically just push it into that folder. And I can just go into my TTC CEO. I can see I have 99 emails from there. So it's an automated process. So that way you can use it to group everything. So the next time I go into my email, I don't have to search through my inbox again. I can just go here. I want to see emails that have come in from my CEO. I just go into my CEO label. I'll be able to see everything. And I won't need to do all of those searching anymore. So you can use it to clearly organize all of your emails. And those are some of the benefits of adding labels. You can add multiple labels. So we've talked about nesting. So I can still use that same search again. Let's say I close this completely and I want to still search. Can still use that same email and search for all of them again, and then create another label, okay? And say, okay, anyone that comes from these guys, apply AI subscription again to it. And then I'll say apply to everything. Click on filter. You will see that immediately it will assign AI subscription. Let's see, I have CEO 643 and I have AI subscription 99. So I can attach multiple labels. You can see this label is inbox and then it is also here. So all of that are ways for us to assign labels and group things the way we want them to be. I can go and delete the labels and all of that. You can also do that by just maybe a particular email comes in. This is a particular email. You can see AI subscription and CEO. I can remove this email from this label by just clicking the email and removing it directly from there. I can remove it directly and they will be removed automatically. To add a label, I can decide to still just click on this and you'll see all of the label. You can also create a label from here, from within an email. So there are 3 places you can create a label: from the side here, from within an email. By clicking on the label icon, you can still create, you can manage, and then by going to your settings. So I can select and add multiple. This particular email, I'm applying multiple labels to it. If I click on this, you can see all the labels appears. So that's the way to assign and apply multiple labels to email. This is too slow. All right. So that's that about emails. Let's see if there's any other thing we're missing. Yeah. So we've talked about unread, star, priority. Okay. Let me do one more thing. So I talked about here, and I will use my own mailbox, my personal mailbox, to just show an example of what I'm trying to say. So here you can see that priority, it breaks it down into important and all that. You can customize it and say, okay, I can create additional label and set them into those options. So I can say priority. All the email from my CEO should be first. I want them to all be at the top. That's the email from my CEO. Then the next one will be email from my ChatGPT subscription. And then I can now say important. Then I can now say everything else. If I save this, you'll see it will break my mailbox into different sections. So you see, this, important, everything else. What I do personally is I break my mailbox to top priority, to-do list, then everything else. And I'll show you that. So I have this. You can see all priority list. I have to-do list. I have unread. Then I have everything else. So when an email comes in that I know, oh, this is something I need to attend to as top priority, because I have a lot of things that I do at the time, as the head of IT. The ones that are top priority, I put them on that top priority. The ones that are things that I need to do on the to-do list, I just add them to the to-do list. And then the rest is unread, and then everything else. So I also use priority. If you check, you will see that my email is under priority, but I customized it to my own taste, to identifiers that I can easily identify, that helps me organize myself. The same thing with the default, the same thing with the multiple inboxes. You can customize them as you wish, that is suitable to your own use. So that way it arranges your mailbox the way you want them to be. All right, so that's that with Gmail. I think we already talked about this. I'm working on the PowerPoint presentation. I will send those to you. So the next thing is chat. Using Google Chat for real-time student communication. So now we've talked about email. Email is it's not real time, except if somebody is on his email and then you send an email, um, and then you respond. But chat has taken communication further than that, in that you are able to chat with people real time online and they are responding. We have WhatsApp and all other things that are able to do that. But within the context of Google, you can chat with your friends, your co-teachers, and you can chat with your students. In fact, in some of my campuses, they no longer use WhatsApp for chat as a group. And it's nice because, especially if you are a school owner or you are a school and you want all your communication for private and for data protection, you want everything to be within the school, then I would advise you not to use WhatsApp, because once a teacher leaves your school, even when you remove them from that group, except they delete the group, all the past record, they are able to go away with it. But with Google, all you need to do is collect back your account, especially if your school has its own domain and it's tied to Google. Once you block the account, they lose access to everything that is there. Let me give you an example. Oh, I just closed it. So there are different groups: high school faculty, elementary school, different departments have their own chat group within Google Chat. And it does everything WhatsApp can do and even much more. Because in WhatsApp, when you put a document, you share a document with people, the moment they download it, it is their document. It is not the same document. But with Google Chat, I can drop a document into the group chat, and all of us, all our addition or everything we input into that document is the same document, and nothing changes. And all that we've learned on Google Doc is also applicable on Google Chat. If I drop a document in Google Chat, all of us can come into that document from the chat, comment on it, and the comment stays there permanently, unless changed otherwise. Let me give us an example. So this is chat. You can see this is faculty, and all of them have their group chat, and everything they discuss is in that group chat. Everything. And we will do a couple of examples as we progress. So chat, how do you access your Google Chat? Let me start. Let me use a student that we've not. I will use, let me see, chat. Okay, a lot of people have started chat with this new spaces. Let's look at student 4. I mean, it would be good to use student 4. So just give me I hope I remember this. Okay. All right. So this is. All right. So this is student 4. This is a fresh chat. So how do you access chat? Google Chat is also available on your phone. Just download the Google Chat. To access chat, you can access chat from your email. You can also access chat from the Google Apps icon by clicking on chat. This is the initial chat interface. And from your phone also, it brings you here. Oh, sorry, from your Google Apps, Google Gmail, it brings you here. So you see chat. Those are the few ways you access your chat. I've mentioned at the beginning of this class, if you don't see it here, you just go to settings, all setting chats and meet, and then you turn it on and it will be available here. So with chat, you can chat to your student directly and give them feedback or communicate to your students directly. In school, in most schools, they would say, because of child protection, they will say, don't give your number to students, don't get students' number. If your school uses an ecosystem of emails like chat, Google email, you can, all you need to know is the name of the students and you can search for them, especially if your school gives students email, then you can chat with them. The history of the chat can always be kept and for child protection and anything. But within the class, you can provide feedback, one-to-one feedback. Or again, you can create a group for all of your classes and add all of your students to it and have a group chat. So those are some of the benefits of chat. So let's click on chat. When you click on chat, you can click on new chat. It's really beautiful because you don't need to know this person's email. You just need to search for their email. If they are within your email, you'll be able to find them. Sorry, how is it? This is not correct. Let me go back to. There's my. Okay. So I'll start an email, a chat. Start a new chat. I can search for student. Student 3, student 4. TC. Money request. So I can click on a student and then start a chat. Like I think I've used this before. I can attach documents from the chat, directly from the chat. I can open and start a voice call or a video call, or I can send a voice message, sorry, or a video message. From here, I can start a meeting directly with the student and the meeting will start. I'm trying to call the student. I can share a file or a folder with the students. And these are all of these things that I've shared. Here is how you upload a file. You click on upload, and then you can upload a file directly or a folder directly to the student. You can, whatever document you put into the student file, both of you are able to chat with the student, communicate directly on that file. And it is not an entirely different file. It is the same file that you are chatting with. You can create a group chat by just adding more than one people in a chat, and it becomes a group chat. So that way, you can add all your students to that chat. So I'm starting, sorry, start new chat. Adding the student 2, then 3, and then I start a chat. So these are all the 3 students. I can rename. Oh, why is this so terrible like this? Yeah, I think my something wrong with this. Start a new chat, integration. You are able to rename the chat, but I think it's just looking very bad here. But you are able to rename the chat to the name of the group. Okay, this is student 1, 2, 3. Let's see if I can rename. Okay, so mark as notification, log out, block. It's really very modeled up. I think it's my browser that's causing it. But you're able to rename the chat to the name of a group and you have all of the options to chat, to do a video call immediately, to do a voice call almost immediately. So those are some of the benefits of a group chat. Then there's other options that we have in chat, which is also called spaces. Spaces are spaces or space is like a co-working space where you can add. Okay, no, group chat and space is not. Sorry, group chat and space are not the same thing. Group chat is just chat, like WhatsApp or all of that group chat. Space, however, is more of a co-working space where you are bringing a team of people together, not just to chat, but to also collaborate. And let's create a space, for example. I'm going to create a space and call it camp. So space has different purposes. It could be a collaboration space where I'm bringing multiple people together so that we can work as a team. Or it's a place where I just want to use it for announcements, broadcast and share updates within your group. Only members and Manuel can post message permission and members. This cannot be changed after the creation. So if I want to collaborate, easily share file, assign tasks, and organize your conversation. So let's create a collaborative space. I'm going to say it's available to everybody within this organization, and then I'll create it. So you see immediately that space gives you add member, share file, assign task. You can do a poll. You can. So it's more like Slack. I don't know if many of us have used Slack. It's a place where you can manage a team, organize events, or keep track of work done on a project or on whatever it is that you're doing. So for example, I can assign a task to a member. So this task, I'm trying to assign a task and say, okay, add a task to this space. This task name is going to be introduction. So maybe this project is that we're writing a thesis on something. Let me first add members to this chat. So I'll add student 1, student 2, student 3 to this. So I've added them. Then I can add a task and say this task for one person is supposed to write the introduction. And then I'll add the due date is supposed to be next week. All right. And then I'll assign this task to okay. I can assign this task to this person, and then I'll save it. So the task has been assigned to myself. Let's flip over to student. This is the student. This is student 4, and this is no. Let's look for student 1. Student 4. Let me switch to student 1. You can see immediately student 1 gets a notification that he's been added to his a space. He clicks on the space. He can see the space, created a task. He sees that a task has been assigned to somebody within that group. He can open the task and see that this task is assigned to Rotimi. He can review all messages. So a space is more than just a group chat. In group chat, you can assign tasks, you can chat, you can call, but within spaces is much more than that. You can manage a project within spaces, share documents, share files, and all of us can work together on those files and collaborate. That is what spaces are for. It's a place where a group of people work together and collaborate together on a project, and it could be a place where you give an announcement, basically. All right, so that's mostly what we need to know about chat. It's available on your tab, on your tablet, on your phone, and on the browser, and you can communicate directly to one person or to multiple people at the same time. So you can search for spaces that are available within the organization, and you'll be able to join them as much as you can. All right, so that's that for Google Chat. Maintain connection. You can archive chats if you don't want the chat. Let's see. Let's say I go to a chat. Just you can hide the conversation. Delete that conversation if you don't want. Okay, Clem. Okay, you have a question. Go ahead. Yes. You raised your hands that you have a question. All right. So we'll just move ahead. So group chat, we already talked about that. Mobile, it's available on your mobile phone. So the next thing we're going to look at is, so we've gone from one to one. I can't unmute. Oh, all right. So yeah. Okay. All right. I have allowed you unmute now. You can unmute. Clem,
Thank you,
let's
sir.
start with Clem.
Sorry for bothering you, but I just want a clarification. Okay, what if you talked about group chats instead of using WhatsApp, and a situation whereby somebody is an organization using WhatsApp for their communication, and maybe the person leaves and leaves the information even though the person has been removed from the group. That is advisable for us to use Google Chat. Now, what if you work in an organization where you don't have a school email address? Because I'm a teacher, you don't have a school email address. How do you go about doing the Google Chat or using the Google Chat?
Then just stick to your WhatsApp. All right. So
All right.
Google Chat can still work, but that means each one of you will be using your personal Google Chat. You'll be using your personal Google. Like, for example, you and I now can contact ourselves on Google Chat. I just need to know your email. From my personal email, I can add you to a chat, and then we can chat directly using Google Chat. Rather than WhatsApp requires phone number, Google Chat requires only Gmail. If I know your Gmail, I can contact you on Google Chat. It's the same way, like if I know your number and you have WhatsApp, I can contact you on WhatsApp. But so each one of us as a group, each one of your teachers, if they have their own personal Gmail, they can set up a group chat. And then everything is still housed by them. Even if you remove them from that group, when they go away with those resources. But if you are in a school that if you are in a Google school that have Google Gmail, Google email as a school, and it's tied to their domain, then that means it is the school that is giving you the email. That means it is the school that controls the Gmail. So if you come and join my school, for example, I'll give you an email. That email is controlled, it's owned by us, not by Google. It's owned by us, although it is Google. What we are doing is that we are using Google's mail services. So when you go, we can just change the password or take the email away from you, and you lose access to every resources that is meant for the organization. So that is the ideal way to use that. It is that the school gives you the account, not that you use your own personal Gmail. If you are using your own personal Gmail, it's almost the same thing as you using WhatsApp. But you would have more features than using WhatsApp in that you can collaborate. Everything that we are looking at in terms of collaboration, you can still do on Google Chat, but you can't do on WhatsApp. You can share a document on Google Chat, and all of you in that group can go into that document and work on the same document. But in WhatsApp, it's either it is all of you join the WhatsApp call and one person is the one typing, But the moment everybody downloads it, it becomes as many copies as they were members of the group that downloaded it. So you are not able to do all of this that I've mentioned if your school don't have an email service that is run through Google that belongs to them.
All right.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for the thank you so much, sir, for the clarification.
All right, Bessie.
Yeah, thank you very much, Betty on the line.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Thank you so much. Actually, I have my laptop in front of me. I was actually following, but I didn't know where you were actually touching, where were clicking and all that to move from one section to the other on that issue of Google Chat.
Oh, Google Chat. If you go into your Gmail,
Yes.
you should be able to see Google Chat here. All right. If you cannot see it here, you can go here, the Google app, and you will find chat. All right. That's one way. Those are two ways. If you can't find it here and you want to activate it here, you go into settings. You go into settings. Sorry. You go into settings here. You click on it. And then when you click on settings, you click on all settings. And then you will see chat and this, and you turn it on. Once you do that, you'll be able to find it on the side here. That's just how you access Google Chat. But you can also watch the video of this recording of this class to further provide some guidance on that. All right, Bukola Kolade, before we move on to something else. Bukola Kolade. All right. Okay, so the next thing is Google Groups. Okay. Now we've gone from, I'm going to block everybody's microphone now. So we've gone from, let me mute everybody. We've gone from Gmail, which is you have to type, to real-time communication, which is chat. Chat is, Gmail is one-to-one or one-to-many. You write an email, you add everybody's email address, and you send. Then chat is one-to-one or one-to-many. You can do one-to-one chat or as a group. Now, the next layer of communication, which allows you to reach out to more people, is what is called Google Groups. Now, with Google Mail, you have to type the message. It's like a message, it's an email. You are not limited. The people you can send email to is not limited to only Google ecosystem. But for Google Chat, to reach out to a person from Google Chat, that person must have a Gmail account. For email, you send an email. I could have a Yahoo or whichever email. So long as a valid email, I'll be able to communicate to you. But with Google, with Gmail, it's not instant. It's not real time. With chat, it's real time and instant. You could place a call. You could place a voice call, a video call, do a video recording, do a voice audio recording, and all of that. But the limitation is that that person has to have a Gmail account and is one-to-one or one-to-many. Now, the next layer is called Google Groups. These allow you to reach out to a huge number of people without necessarily sending or without necessarily always adding their emails to your email. Let's say I have my school, we have 500 students. Averagely, that's almost a total of 1,000 parents. If I want to use email to communicate to them, that means I have to copy 1,000 parents' email and put it in my compose, in my email, and then send it to them. But we also know that Google sets a limit to how many email addresses you can send email to all at once. The same thing with chat. Not all your parents will be using Gmails. And that is where Google Group comes in. That I could have 1,000 people. I just need to create a group and put them into that group. And then send, when I create a Google group, it gives me one email address. When I send an email to that one email address, all 1,000 or 2,000 people get that email. That is the beauty of using Google Groups. So again, on TTC, we have 3 TTC groups. Each one of them, the least among them is 800 and something people. So if I want to send an email, if I want to blast out a message, I just need to send it into the group, right? And everybody will see it. So the same thing with Google Groups. I can have 1,000 people. They don't even have to have Gmail accounts. All I need to do is put them into that group, send an email to that one email address. It could be that allparents@tetc.com. Even if I have 5,000 students and each of those students have two parents and each of the parents have 2 emails, that's 10,000 emails. All I need to do is gather all those 10,000 emails and put them into a Google group and call the Google group All Parent. And then when I send an email to allparent@tetc.com, all 10,000 people get the email. Google Groups also allow you to have different types of Google Group. The one that I just explained is called a distribution list, which is that it's one list, everybody is under that list, under that email, and then I send an email to that email address and it distributes it to all the email addresses. That is what is called a distribution list. Then there is now a message board or a forum. You can use Google Groups to create a forum where you can post and people can answer questions. I remember in one of our classes where we talked about how you can reach out to the community within Google. We talked about Google Educators platform, Google Help platform, and Google Forum, where you can see a lot of teachers answering questions. So that is another example of Google Groups. So we'll look at how to create a Google group, how to establish and then set the permission, set the group type, add members to a group, and share information through that. But that's basically what Google Groups is for. It allows you to do all of this larger number of communication. So again, like I said, more than Gmail's 100% email limit. So Gmail, because Google needs to restrict spam and unnecessary email blasting, the limit to what you can send, you can only send 100 emails at a time. That's your cap. But with this, Easy that acts as a discussion board, mailing list, which is also called distribution list, to reach larger groups of people. Participants in Google Group can create, post, and respond to discussions. So you want to have discussions. Discussion boards, whether it's for your department, whether it's for the student body, also you can create Google Groups and discussion for people. You can create custom groups to share weekly information to parents, specific numbers. Like for example, in one of the campuses, every grade level has, let's say there's grade 3 parents. So all grade 3 parents are in that group. Then there's grade 3A parents, grade 3B parents. Grade 3A parents, the teacher of grade 3A can send emails to that group and all his parents or her parent will get the email. Grade 3 parents. So you have grade A, grade 1A, 1B, then there's grade 1. And then there's all elementary school. So all of those email groups are just added to the elementary group. So let's say, for example, that this is the hierarchy. Every grade level has two arms. So instead of you to say, okay, in my elementary school, I have 5,000 students in my elementary school. Then I can add 5,000 emails to elementary school parents. But another way to do it is at each grade level, grade 1A, grade 1B, you add the parents into that group. Then in grade 1, you only add the email called grade 1A, and grade 1B into grade 1. That takes care of that. So when you send an email to grade 1, it will distribute it to grade 1A and grade 1B, and grade 1A and grade 1B will now distribute it to all the parents in grade 1. So at the elementary school level, all I need to do is add 5 email addresses to elementary school parents. That would be grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. So I'll just add grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into all elementary school parents. So when I send an email to all elementary school parents, it will distribute it to grade 1A, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that in turn will distribute it to grade 1A, 1B, and then 1A, 1B will automatically distribute it to all the parents in grade 1A. The same goes for 2, 3, 4. So it allows you structure organizations and schools mainly so that you are easily able to allow for large communication between the school and the parent, because communications are quite important. So we'll look at these practicals, how to do all of this. So what are the categories? Email list allow users to post from the web through email. Post from the web through email. This is a mailing list. This is a mailing list group. Then web forum. You can create. These are the categories of Google Group. Allows people to interact with the group and have engaging and interactive discussions. So again, as a teacher, you can, oops, sorry, my battery. Oh, no, I'm starting the battery. Sorry. Give me a moment, my laptop is about to die. Okay. All right. Well, we will. Right. So web forum, online, people can interact and engage. Everybody in that group can interact. Q&A forum is a web forum with extra features to enable support the experience of asking and answering questions. You can look at the different use cases where you can use this within your school or even in your own organization. Collaborative inbox. Topics can be assigned to other members and treat as tasks which can be resolved or reassigned. For example, if you have a large group and you are providing support for parents, maybe, for example, in your school, the admission department, or the marketing department, if your school has marketing, they could use a collaborative mailbox where any email that comes into that mailbox, inquiries and all of that, they can assign it to each person, and then they will follow up and get that job done. So those are some of the groups for that. Use Google Group for better communication. Sometimes students may be hesitant to raise their hands in a class because they are shy. You can use forums, Q&A forums, web forums to give students voices. Students that can't speak publicly can also engage that. You can ask thought-provoking questions in groups and allow students to feed off each other's input. This approach creates more accessible and open discussion environment. Create a group for parent communication. I just spoke about that. So those are some of the benefits of Google Groups. Let me see what's next. All right. So I think we should be able to cover. So let's just go to Google Groups. I'll use the next 15 minutes for that, and then we'll use the next 15 minutes for the last part of the topic. So let's create Google Groups. So to create Google Group is the same process. You go to, let me see. You either go to groups.google.com. Everything you want in Google, you can use that same format. Charts, is it charts or charts? Chat.google.com. Yeah, charts.google.com brings you to chat. Doc.google.com brings you to doc. So this one is groups. I'll show you groups.google.com. Okay, it's supposed to be groups, sorry. I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not. All right, so groups.google.com brings you to group. If you don't want to go that way, you just need to go click on the Google Apps and look for groups here. You will always find it. Groups.google.com or groups. Click on that. It brings you into the same interface. If you belong to any group, you will find it under my group. If you belong to recent group, all groups will show you all the groups within your organization. You can see that these are all the different groups. These are some of the groups that people have created because based on the assignment that they were given, people have created groups. So as an individual with your Gmail account, even with your private Gmail account, you can create groups and add people. So if you are doing home lessons and you have multiple parents and multiple students, you can use Google Groups also. Now, so what do you do? How do you create a group? You click on create group and that's it. So I can call this group Camp4 group, all right? Immediately it gives me an email here at ttc.com. Now, I am the admin, okay? Because I am the admin and because I am in TTC group, I am able to do ttc.com. But you, in your personal email, what you will find is Google Groups at googlegroups.com because it's based on Google. It's at googlegroups.com. All right. So let me just I think let me use a personal email so that you can see it from that angle, especially if you are using your own email. All right, let's do this one. Okay. Come on. All right. Sorry. All right, so this is it. So this is my account, my personal account. But you can see these are all the groups I belong to. My son is in grade 5. So this is the group. My son is in grade 5A. My daughter is in grade 2 blue. So you can see I'm in grade 2 blue parent. I'm in grade 5A parent. I'm in all elementary parents. I'm in all school parents. So when any communication comes from the school and gets sent to all parents, I will get it in my mailbox. If it gets sent to ES parents, I'll get it. If it gets sent to grade 2B parents or grade 5B parents, that is how school communicates. It's quite easier that way. So this is my account, my personal account. If I want to create a group here, I can, like most of you are able to. You click on this, you'll see that automatically you only have googlegroup.com option. Whichever group you create will be in that domain. So that's what I wanted to just show so that we can proceed. But here, it's TTC because I have that school account. Here you can give a description if you want, for. Then you click on next. And it brings you here. Now, here is where you determine who can join and who can post and who can view members. As a school, you have to be careful here. You have to be careful here. Who can join? Let's say I'm creating a group for all Camp4. So I want everybody in the organization can join, or anyone in the organization can ask only invited users. So if it's only invited user, that means you have to send them a link and they will be able to join. Or you add them to the group by yourself and then they get an invite. So who can join? I'm going to say anyone within the organization. Remember, the reason why it's asking for organization is because I tied it to ttc.com. Okay. I can tie it to here. See, you are creating a group external to your organization with your internal account at your own risk. It tells me that. because now at google.com is not tied to any organization. It will be open to everybody. So let's just look at this, for example. So I go to next. Here, I can now say, who can view conversation? When I post something in that group, who are the people that can see it? And here I would say the people that should be able to see it should be everybody, because I want everybody to be able to see it. So I want everybody. Who can post? Now, this is very technical. If you are a school, or if you are a business, or you are a teacher that have a lot of parents, you don't want your parent to be able to reply all. So let's say the school now sends me an email. I get an email, but it was sent to all parents. If I click on reply all, if this setting says everybody can respond, then parent can just email back. Maybe one angry parent can just email back and every other parent gets it. You don't want that. So you have to limit the people that can post to maybe not the entire group, but maybe managers or owners of the group, which could be maybe I'm the one creating it now, so I'm the owner. I can also assign people to manage it for me. So owners and managers are the only one that should be able to post to all that group. Now, I'm choosing this as a mailing list. Remember, this is the situation for mailing list. We use it for email communication. But if it is for discussion board, then it has to be everybody can post. All right. So I'm particular about mailing box and for collaboration, for web forum, for Q&A, for announcement board and all of that. You could open it to everybody to be able to, because it's a discussion. But for mailing lists, you shouldn't, especially if you're a school and you're adding everybody outside your school. The second one also is that who can view members? This one also, you should remove it and make it members, managers, and owners. Because if one parent that is wanting to plot a coup for your school or want to form a group to stand against your school, if he or she is able to see all the email address, she can just copy them and start another association that would be different from your PTA aside, and then they will come and cause trouble for you. So again, you can just giving this as some very examples just to explain how these permissions works. Now, so group members, you can add group members directly here. If you know them, you can copy their email and paste them, but you can always do that later on. So how do you want this to be done? Is it subscription? How do you want this to be? So I want email to be delivered by messages to them, and it will be delivered. Digest means just a short version. I don't want email or abridged version. Digest version means messages sent in bundles of 25. Abridged messages sent in bundles of up to 150 at least once daily. So depending on how you want to send that, then you just create a group, and this is the group. If I go to the group, I am able to still, this is the group, Camp 4 group. I am able to still add members directly here I can add members, send them a welcome message. So let's say I'm creating this as a student. Oh, shoot. Okay, I can add, let's say I add student. I add student 1. I add student 4. If I want them to be manager, I can add them to be manager. If I want another group owner, I can add a message. Okay. All right. Okay. And I want I add this member. They would, one email address you enter is already associated with an existing member. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Student 4 is the one that created. Let's say student 3 at TTC. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so they are all there, already added. Posting, you see, I say only this person is able to post, these persons are not able to post, and they can receive email and all of that. Let's look at each of them if they got an email. This is student 1. Let's go to email. Oh, I need to, let me change this back to default. You can see he has an email. You have been added to CAM group 4. So if he opens that, he sees all of the message, welcome CAM group 4. He also can view this in his group, and he will see that there are no group conversations yet. Although he can see the group, but in his group, in group CAM 4, there are no conversation yet. So how do conversation happens? Let's go to student 4 and okay, so let's go to student 4. He can start a conversation from here. For example, you see, it's an email, student 4. I'm starting a conversation within the group. I can say, and let's just say, I say the topic is welcome, and then the text is, you are welcome. Right, so it posts a message. Let me view the message. This is the message. Then if we go to students, this, refresh, he will see the message. But how is that message delivered to him? You can check his mailbox. You can see the message comes into his box. Okay, so let's see. He replies. You can see that although the message comes to CAM 4, when he clicks reply, the message comes from CAM 4 to CAM 4, from this person to CAM 4. When he sees reply, he can only reply to the owner, not to everybody. So he can reply. So everybody, you see, everybody can reply. This is student 1, can reply to student 4. So let's see, he replies and says, thank you. And then sends. I go here. Thank you. Then I'll go here. I go to conversation. Here you can see student 4 sees the replies directly to student 3 because I said not everybody can post. So the members cannot post into that group. I'm using that group to send them emails, so all of them will get it. But when they need to reply, they can only reply to the owner. But if I allow them reply to the group, then they all can reply to the group. So that's a good example of how you would use Google Groups. You'll be able to create groups, both large and small. You'll be able to communicate with them all at once, as soon as however you want. You'll be able to communicate with them directly or indirectly as much as you want. And that's basically how you set up groups. When you go into your groups also, within the group, you can still maximize. Let's say I click on CAM 4. You can set it such that message post. So if you open the group, another way is if you want people to post into the group, you can set some settings and say, okay, I want all the messages that comes for me to approve it first. I want it to be approved by me first. It is only once it is approved by me that it can now be posted into the group. So allow email posting, allow web posting. Who can reply? You can always change settings from within the group as you go here. Moderation is where you said that, okay, I want this group, I want people to post to this group, but before their post is allowed, I need to moderate it first. So moderate all message. If a member is constituting a nuisance, maybe I allow people to post, but one member is constituting a nuisance, I can block that member. So I can say this member cannot, new member cannot post. For this is for new members. New member cannot post. New member posts are moderated. No posting restriction for new members. So you can set that as what you want. Then reject or mark any message that is marked as spam should be rejected. Reject message functions, message notification, and all of that. Email options. You can set most of these settings as much as you want. You can set auto reply. So all of the options to set up your group. When you set it up, all of the options to edit and provide some additional settings can be gotten within the settings option in the group. You can ban members too. If a member is constituting a nuisance, you can ban the member, and then later you can enable that member come back. If members join, and you would have to approve them before they are able to finally join the group. That's why you have the approval for pending and for those that are approved. Then you'll be able to see all your conversation also. That's basically a summary of groups, but groups just allows you to reach out to a huge number of people without necessarily making them have Gmail accounts. And then it provides you with multiple options of communication and collaboration with people outside. In that they can ask questions. It could be a discussion forum, a Q&A forum, a web forum, an email list like we just demonstrated, and you are able to interface with them in different ways. Whether it's your students, their parents, or a larger school community, you are able to do all of that with Google Groups. The last thing we will focus on in the next 15 minutes or 10 minutes. In doing this, I will post as a follow-up to this next page, next topic. I've done one in-depth webinar on the next thing we want to talk about. So I will add that video as an addendum or an addition to this to the class once this video is posted, so that you can look into that video. Not so much so for you to be able to pass these exams or for you to be able to do the assignment that I will give you, but because of some of the benefits of using this feature, especially for you as a professional educator. I would advise you to watch that video, and you can use it to build your own profile and create your own website at no cost. And you can share your website and your personal website with people, where you can document your work and all of that. And I think I'll show us an example of what can be done with that. But that's outside the context of using it just for your students, but using it for yourself as a professional. Now, the next thing we'll be talking about, so we've looked at almost all of this. Again, set permission, select group, add members to a group, share info through email, which we did. The next one, which is the final thing today, because I had asked that we end by 4:30, is So we've gone from one-to-one email, chat, we've gone to group. Now we're looking at how do you, so all of these are mostly communication, but communication is not the only thing we do in school. In school, we create content. Activities are going on in school. How do you share these activities with parents in a better way, or in a more in a more visual and more visually appealing way? Your students are doing great work in school. You video them or you take pictures of them. How do you share this picture with parents? You could post it on WhatsApp, you could send it as email, but that will be individual and that will not be visually appealing. And that is where the next aspect of communication comes in, where not only are you able to communicate in terms of text communication, now you're able to communicate graphically with parents and showcase schoolwork, showcase student work within your class or as a school as a whole. And it has a lot of good use cases. And that's where we're going to focus on what is called Google Sites. Google Sites is Google's platform that is more like a website. Every one of you that have a Gmail, you are able to build a website for yourself at no cost, and you can share this website with people. I used to believe that educators, most times the only way we tell people about what we've done is on our CV. But Google Sites allows you able to showcase not only what you have on your CV, which is written or typed, but you are able to showcase in graphical terms some of your experiences and what you've done. But that aside, now in the use case of a school, you can build a class website, you can build a departmental website, you can build a school website without really spending money on having to get a web designer to design your website. And you could do something very, very marvelous. So before I go into this, I'll just show you two things. So ttc.com.ng, this is TTC website, and this is a few things that we've done, and it's using Google Sites. So this is the conference that we did. All of these are possible. I did this, you can see it, sites.google.com. This is the conference. Then this is resources for the conference, slide presentation. This is the gallery. You can see pictures, videos from the conference. And then you can see testimonials from the conference. And then the webinars. This is also the page for the webinars. So this is directly with Google Sheets. It's at no cost. And the video I will post will walk you through how you are able to create such things for yourself. I think another one that we created, let me pull that one up. During that training that I had, let me just pull it up and then you can see. Okay. Sites. Sorry, just give me a moment. Let me pull it up. And then we can go into some of the use cases. That's the way it is. Did I delete it? So just give me a moment, please. Okay, so this is one that I built during the training. We used this for the training, professional journey. It was just a trial. We just did this during the training. Okay, so I will attach the video. If you are interested in building a personal website to showcase yourself, and you can share it as part of your profile, you can do that. But for the sake of the class that we are having now, we're going to be focusing on how do you use this within your class to impact your students. So I'm just going to run through all of this. Communication to a wider audience is important. You are to keep the community informed of the success you're having in your classroom. That's one way. Site can make the student work authentic and important. For example, during a design thinking activity, student can develop a Google site to promote new products. If your school has Gmail, everybody that has a Gmail account can create a Google site. Students can also create a digital portfolio for themselves where they will continue to showcase or journal their learning progress as they go from grade level to grade level. Announcement, student of the month, class calendar, post PowerPoint, embed video, show student work, syllabus, field trip photos, and many more I think you can do with Google Sites. I'll answer the question. Let me just go through this. So this is just the practicals. Now let's look at the practicals. To go to Google Sites, you just click on the app here and then you look for Google Sites. If you cannot find it in your personal account, all you need to do is open the browser and type sites.google.com and you'll be able to see it. So for this student, I'm going to click on this and then I'm going to click on Google Sites. When you click on Google Site, it opens their, which student is this? Student 4. Let's look for student 4. Student 4 I've not used it for anything. So Google Sites. So you can start with a template. You'll be able to see all of the templates. You can pick any of the templates and it gives you a place to start from. So student portfolio is something that student can use to journal or store record of how their learning progress. They can start their own blog. They can start their own, whatever it is. And then you as a teacher, you can have your own where you can showcase yourself. But you can also have one for your class. So I'm going to use a template of one for a class. Let's say I'm a teacher. I want to create a class website. In my class website, what are the things I can put there? I can put all our lesson materials. I can put it there. I can post pictures of activities within the class. As a teacher, if I teach multiple classes, I can create a page for all of my classes, put all the resources there. The beauty of it is I can link YouTube videos directly. I can upload videos directly. And I will show us, just run through it, some of the things we can do. I can attach spreadsheet, PowerPoint, Google form, anything that is within the Google resources, I can pull them here. So let's go to class sites. To open one, you just click on it. You can start from scratch also. So I'm going to name my class GCE Camp 4. It's very easy to edit, very easy. Here is the class name. That's what the name of the class can be. I can say Camp 4. And then this is the website name. Camp 4. All right. So here you can add text. Let me just scroll to the bottom. You see that you can add pictures, but I will show us a few things. Anywhere you want to add something, you just go to that section. So I want to add a text. I click on text. You see, it puts it here. All of the edits, I can choose the text type. I choose the font type that I want. Choose the font size that I want, and then I can type. You can change the color however you want. So all of the editing options are available for you. You can add a link to this. You can add emoji. You can also format as you wish. So if I want to put it in the middle, you can delete, you can duplicate. You can also add images. So I'll add image. I can upload or select. So let's just select from what is available. So let's say I put this one. No, put this one. So this is, I added 2 images just now. I can shrink it down so that I can add more image and I can move them across. So it's really pretty easy to use. You just need to have an idea of what you want to do, and then you add them. I'm just going to go through a few other things that you can add. You can add content block at the bottom here. You can add a content block. So a picture and a text, or content block, picture and text, or picture, bigger picture. So 3-way, 1x3 column, or 1x5 column. You can add videos from YouTube. Let's add a video to this. I'm just going to search for. So let's say this is GC class. I'm just going to Google certification. So you can search for videos directly from YouTube. I'll add this video, and the beauty of it is it plays directly from within it, as you will see once we publish. So you can add video. You can add collapsible groups where you have groups that, let me give you an example. I want to add a collapsible group. Let's just say files. Maybe I say 2024 to 2025. These are stop in my 2024 to 2025. You see, it's a drop down. So if I add something here, so this is, so here is an example of, you can do frequently asked questions, or you can put files or links or content that you did in 2025, 2024. Then the following year, you can do all of that. You can add table of content. Another good feature is image carousel. You can select multiple image that you are able to scroll through. So let's select all of these images. So add image. You can also upload images. Let's see. Download. So I can insert, and there are 2 images. I can expand the gallery. Here, there's the settings. I can set settings. I want the images to show caption. I don't want it to show caption. I want it to be automated, and I want it to be medium in terms of how they scroll from one another. You can add YouTube. You can add your calendar. You can add, like I said, you can add a Google Doc. Let's say I want to add a Google Doc now. It will show me which doc do I want to add. I'm adding this document. It will load that document, and then it gives me, I need to set permission. I want the people here to just view it. I didn't want them to do anything, but they are only able to view it. The document will load in no time. Then I can also add a Google Sheet if I want. So I pick this one, insert. I want it to be view, and then I share. So let's delete this one. Put another one. Google Doc. Is view, and then I share. So all of these options are things you are able to add to the site. You can pick from Google Drive. Again, that video is where I did a session going through all of this. You should watch it. You can add Google, you can add charts, you can add slides and PowerPoint. You can pull things from your OneDrive directly into it, folders and all of that. The next thing is pages. Here is where you set up new pages. If you want to add an additional page, you click on this page. On this icon, you can add a new page or a link, full embed, or a new menu section. The pages are also intuitive. So let's say schedule. I want newsletter to be under schedule. I can drag it under it, and you see it becomes under it. Let's just drag everything under home. So under home, I can drag it out again under home. So you see my home page now becomes a drop down, newsletter and schedule. It's pretty easy for you to use. Theme is where I can decide to change the look and feel. Right now I'm on impression. I can decide to change it to diplomat, and then it will change. Vision, and then it will change. In that class that I did, you'll be able to see how to customize some of this. I can change the color to green, and then let's just take it back to impression. I think I like that one. So once you're done, you can now publish. The moment you publish, you give it a name, CAM4. So it gives you how do you want it to be found on the internet. So I'll put it as CAM4. If it is available, it will tell you it's available. If it is not available, it will say that name is taken. So you see it under site.google.com, ttc.com/CAM4. That is the URL to your SharePoint site, to your Google site. In the session that I had, I was also showing them how you can buy a domain and link it to your Google site, so that you build a website, you buy a domain that is your name, and you are able to post it and use it at the same time. So once I publish, it becomes published. I can go to the publish option and view publish site. I click on view publish site, it takes me to this site. And then I'm able to see all of the things that I put. Maybe okay, CAM4GC. These are the first pages. As you can see the stuff that I just added, and all of this. I didn't put content there. Look at the video. Look at the photo gallery. I can keep scrolling. If I add more photos, you can add. Look at the Google Doc. I think the sharing option is not there, but I can open the Google Doc directly if I click on it. And then the Google Sheet also, you can open the Google Sheet directly. It opens somewhere else. So this is how you leverage Google Sites. So whether it's picture from your class, videos from your class, activities that students are doing, your lesson material, lesson notes. Even as a private teacher, you can set this up and have all your work there. Share it with your students so that they can have access to it. You can upload your PowerPoint presentation. Like I said, you can put your videos directly on it, or you put the video on YouTube and still be able to work with students collaboratively on this. So this is Google Site. Within a school community, you can use this as a way to showcase things to parents, newsletters, class announcements, whether it's a class site that you're organizing, you're creating, or whether it's a school-wide site. You can use this to advertise, to post activities within the school, events, announcements, photo galleries, and all of that. Google Sites gives you that opportunity. So you can design it as much as you want. You can actually copy, like I said, from one of the templates and edit it as it suits you, publish it, and you can share that link with people, and it will be accessible by everybody as a class. So that's where this unit ends. I think, yeah. So rearrange your page, personalize URL. So I will attach that video. It allows you really look. I will advise you to look through it, and you'll see a lot of use cases and how I went through the details of creating it from scratch with people, and you can learn from that. So as we round up today, next week we'll be doing Unit 5. Let me just. Okay, Unit 5 will be using Google Calendar and class schedules. So next week we'll start doing two units as usual. 3 and 4 are quite large, and that's why we separated them into 2 different days. So while I get ready to just push out the attendance.